This is Matthew Schaefer, the winner of the CHL's Top Draft Prospect Award 2024-2025. Matthew Schaefer is a potential top 3 overall pick at the NHL draft, and a lot of people even have him at number 1 overall. But why is that? Today, we're going to break down Matthew Schaefer's game and tell you why we feel that he's a top 2 potential draft pick at this year's upcoming NHL draft. Without further ado, let's get into this. But before we do, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the Face Off for the best hockey content on YouTube.
All right, let's dive in to this freak defenseman stat. So Matthew Schaefer is 17 years of age. He's actually one of the youngest players in the draft class, which is pretty shocking considering how good he is. So he stands in at 185 pounds. He is 6'2" tall. And when you see this guy in person, I'm telling you, it's a little bit of a different story. He definitely looks more muscular, larger than he actually is listed as. But let's just dive into some of his stats. So for the Erie Otters in the OHL that got him that fantastic award, he put up 22 points in 17 games as a defenseman. He was injured for the back half of the season. He got injured during the World Junior Championships, so we didn't get to see much out of him during that. But he was pretty solid in those 2 games he played. And obviously, being over point per game as a defenseman in the OHL is not an easy feat. Watch out for this guy. He put up some pretty fantastic stats. I'm very excited to see what he can bring post his injury now that he's 100% healthy.
So I'm going to give you a basic rundown on Matthew Schaefer, but the big thing you got to know about this guy is he a two-way defenseman? And the answer is yes. This guy can play offense and he can play defense. Yes, there are a couple things on defense. You want him to tidy up. You want him to be a little more physical. He's not the most physically intimidating player on the ice, but he doesn't shy away from the physicality. And he knows when to throw the big bone-crushing hit at the right time. So I think that's something that you want to see Matthew Schaefer improve a little bit on. However, his offense, he kind of plays like Cale Makar, but he's obviously Cale Makar's elite and elite. He's not Cale Makar, but he kind of plays like him. He drives the play forward with his elite skating, and he can set up teammates with hard passes or shoot because he's got a really nice quick wrist shot. His speed and agility are 2 of the most developed parts of his game. So he's kind of really deceptive, and that's what you want to see out of a number 1 defenseman. He's a defender that can do everything. Like I said, his skating is fantastic. He's got a quick shot or good release, good vision, and he's very creative with the puck. His hockey IQ does a lot of things for him. It's really good. And I think that he's not unafraid of physicality, but he can definitely become a little more physical. But again, that's going to happen as, he gets older. He'll put on some weight. That's kind of how it goes for defensive prospects. He's dominant on the ice, as a presence. When you see Matthew Schaefer on the ice, you're like, oh my God, I'm facing Matthew Schaefer. This guy's going to be really dominant on the ice. So I think that overall, his game will probably translate to the NHL level at a very good level. But I think there are a couple little things, like I said, continue at a little bit of strength, improve a little bit of that defensive game. But he's going to be a very good player at the NHL level.
Let's dive in now to how Matthew Schaefer could help your favorite NHL team, and let's give you a little NHL comparison for him. So, barring any injuries and all goes well, Matthew Schaefer projects to be a star number 1 defenseman in the NHL, similar to guys like Scott Niedermayer, Mira Heiskanen, or even a Rasmus Dahlin. Like mentioned before, he uses his skating and high hockey IQ to drive the play and to control offense, yet he can be relied to play a more physical and shutdown role if that's what needed out of him late in the game. So another guy who can be put on that first power play unit, can quarterback that as well, and obviously could be a solid defensive defenseman, like I mentioned before, late in the game. He's an NHL threat. He might need to add a little bit more strength, but when he arrives in the NHL, he will be a very scary player and he will be very tough to stop. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching this video. We are officially back with more content. Stay tuned for that. We're going to be doing a lot of, switching to a little bit more new styles, such as podcasts, interviews. I'm not going to spoil too much. We got a lot coming. We're very excited for the summer. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to tune into all the prospect videos where you get to know about the top 10 prospects that we picked in this year's NHL draft. It's going to be a fun ride. We hope you like this video, and we will see you in the next one.